To have passion in life is everything.
What's your Everest?
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
that 200-inch box?
They just look so impressive when they're wide.
Especially running away.
Welcome to this week's episode of Eastmans Elevated.
It's like a think tank for outdoor activity.
Sounds exactly like my hunting. Just always thinking about it, always trying to evolve it and make it better.
Here's your host, Brian Barney.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Got a brand new podcast for you. So on today's episode, I have on Peter and Craig from Sig Sauer. These guys are great. They crack me up anytime I get together with them, and then they're absolutely go-getters. They hunt a bunch, and so they know what us Western hunters need and want for our optics, and so I was able to pick their brain a little bit on their optic systems and what they're able to use and what they prefer, and then also get some stories out of these guys. So it made for a good podcast. We'll get right into it. I just want to thank Sig Sauer for their support of the podcast. So, the new Zulu 6's image stabilizing binos that we talk about in this podcast are out. They're amazing. I just got my hands on them. I got my hands on a pair of 12x42s, which are awesome, and also got my hands on a pair of 16x42s. So they've put their high-end glass in these. They've actually... seems like they've improved the image stabilization a little bit in them as well with the gimbal system in there. And, man, they're just absolutely awesome. I can't wait to put these through the ringer and use these a bunch this season. So I'll be getting them out later this week to look for bears with them. And I'm just so impressed. Just can't wait to use these things. So I have those. I also think they build the best rangefinders on the market. So make sure to check out their Kilo 5K. That's the one I'm using. They also have a 3K. They have a bunch of different models, but the 5K seems to have a real powerful laser that'll shoot through grass. I like the priority mode or target priority mode, best target. So that seems to give me the best ranges where I bow hunt and shooting through grass and things of that nature. So they have now a setting on it where you put in the actual speed of your bow to get the cut of uphill and downhill, which is amazing. And then they also they have a system for connecting to your phone and connecting to your rifle to know exactly where your hold is. It's called the BDX system. So you get that as well. And then check out all their optics. Their Zulu 7s and Zulu 9s are going to be their standard binocular. Man, those things are awesome. I love their 15x56s on a tripod are just money. And then also the 10x42s, the 11x45s, just great binoculars. So make sure to check out those. Check out their rifle scopes. And thanks again to Sig Sauer and Peter and Craig for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate their support. I also want to thank Silencer Central. Silencer Central is something new to me. It's putting a silencer on your hunting rifle. So they'll help you with all the paperwork. They have an easy, streamlined process. I'm just getting my rifle set up now where I'm going to send it to them. Or actually, Brandon Mason's going to take it down for me and get it all set up with one of these silencers. So a silencer can help with the recoil of the rifle, so it can make you more accurate. It's also going to quiet down that rifle a bit, which helps with continuing to be able to hear elk bugles, like protecting our hearing. And then also the animals after you shoot, it's not such a loud noise. So, the animals may stick around for like a second shot. So I think these things are amazing. Can't wait to get my hands on them and put them to use. I think the best fit for us hunters will be the banished backcountry. It's just going to suppress that sound and, like I say, reduce recoil, and I think there's a bunch of benefits to it. It only weighs 7.8 ounces, so, I'm going to get this put on here in the next couple weeks, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. So make sure to check them out at Silencer Central. Again, they'll help with all the paperwork and the process and get you all set up with the silencer. So thanks to those guys for their support as well. I also want to thank Black Ovis, so an internet retail shop. They have absolutely everything you need for your next hunt. I've been using their game bags and been super impressed by them. I really like those things. And so, check out their game bags, good price point on those. They carry all the top name brands as well as their own name brand. And so if you guys are in the market, go check them out, and you can save 10% too, which is amazing. Use the code ELEVATED10. That'll get you 10% off of your order. Also, check out Camo Fire. Camo Fire is an app where they have 80 new hunting deals that come up every 24 hours. You can save a pile of money by picking up some discounted items here. So get a chance, check it out in the App Store, and check it out at Camo Fire. With that, over at Eastmans, we are getting ready for the launch of this podcast with Dan Picard and I. Super excited about it. We're going to start off doing a couple a month, so every other week. We have a few recorded, so I'm going to release 3 or 4 or whatever for the launch of it, and so we'll be launching here in the next week or two. So just really in-depth bow hunting information where Dan and I can dive deep down on the subjects. It seems, like every recording we do is different as it's topic-based, so super pumped for this, and so be releasing that. You'll have to look on the feed. It'll be Eastman's Bow Hunting Podcast, Life of a Bow Hunter. And so you'll be able to search it wherever you get podcasts. So super excited about that. Check out our mule deer course. You can put in the promo code Brian MDC. That'll save you 10%. And also check out Eastman's Tag Hub. You can put in the promo code Brian, and that'll get you a free subscription to Mountain Tough Fitness for a year. We also have some good Beyond the Grids dropping. I just had a new episode drop that was an older high country mule deer hunt that was exclusive on TV that now is, you can see it on our YouTube channel. You can just search Eastman's Hunting TV and you'll find it there. So that's a good watch. Proud of how that came out. And man, yeah, everything we've got going on over there at Eastman's Bow Hunting Journal, Eastman's Hunting Journal. So I've got a couple articles that came out there. And yeah, it was fun. Ran over to the office, caught up with those guys for a couple days, got some work done and business done. So yeah, it was all good. So just getting home here, getting this podcast out to you guys, and then try to get on the construction site here. So with that, let's get into this podcast. Peter and Craig, which are absolutely hilarious and great Western hunters and super knowledgeable about optics. I'm your host, Brian Barney, Eastmans Elevated. Here we go.
Avoided him.
Okay, good. Well, yeah, I'm here with Peter and Craig from Sig. Man, just great products, you guys. I'm so impressed. I've been using your products for the last few years. Such a huge fan. Rangefinders, you guys are top of the market. That new feature you guys came out with this year where you put the speed of your bow in for the cuts.
Yeah, we didn't think of that.
Oh, man, I love it. I was the first guy to use it on a hunt. I killed that buck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. We've always dealt with this in archery where it's not an exact cut for everybody's bow. And, I mean, I'm a huge guy, but I'm only a 26.5-inch draw length. So I've got that short draw length, so my speed just isn't as much as somebody with a 30-inch draw length. And so the cut was always off by a yard or two. And when you're hunting high country mule deer, 40, 50-degree slope, that can make all the difference in the world. So you guys came out with that, with the speed, and I checked everything before I went, and then my shot was a high degree of difficulty. It was down a 45-degree slope at that buck down and through there, longer shot for me, and sat on my shot, complete confidence in it, shot broke, and hit him perfect down there, but all due to that rangefinder.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So the biggest thing is, like, I'm a rifle guy.
Mm-hmm.
The bows are completely foreign to me, but it's trying to describe to somebody, like, all right, we have ballistics. Your muzzle velocities, you got your bullet, your weight, your B seasons, all that stuff. And then they're like, well, now we have this bow thing, and I'm not a bow hunter. And the best way to slide is like layman terms of like, how would you describe this new app to people that's never run it before? What do you have to do? I mean, you had your arrow weight, your muzzle, or your arrow speed. Then what else do you incorporate into it?
Arrow speed.
Yeah. So I mean, when you're telling people about it, layman terms, you're saying, all right, I just take my arrow. Does the spine or any of that stuff play into it at all?
No, just arrow speed.
Just arrow speed.
Yeah. But the beautiful thing, it's not just that. Like, that's just a feature of your guys' rangefinders. Why your guys' rangefinders are the best are the clear optics in there, the powerful laser to be able to shoot through grass, the priority mode or last target mode or first target mode, the same range off light and dark targets. And us bow hunters, everything's close. Mm-hmm. And so if it gets different readings off a light or dark target, or if it gives me a yard different here or there, it messes with the whole dope of my bow.
Yeah.
So to have a rangefinder that I can trust all the way through. Like, that's why they're the best in the market. That's just an added feature too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say getting feedback from real life situations, whether that's ourselves in the field or users like yourself, Brian, or even just general beta testers, but using those real life situations in the field and then being able to vet those out over a period of time. So what we might have had out on the market in 2015-16 was an awesome rangefinder, but now we just keep dumping in more feature sets, and they're just so feature and benefits saturated that you might not need it for everything. Like Peter was saying, like, okay, I'm more of a rifle hunter, but we have archery mode. That's going to fit the archery person, like you're saying. And now I have basically a ballistic for my bow and arrow setup. And it's just, it's fun working at SIG, being that we're all like-minded like that, but then be able to bring it back to the industry. So I think that's, we're going to keep driving that from a standpoint of innovation and bringing the best available products to the users. So we're excited. We're excited.
The innovation, the evolution of it. You guys keep improving it. Even though you guys have a good product, it's constantly pushing the bar of what you guys can produce. And when you guys produce that type of gear, it makes us more efficient in the mountains. It gives me a better chance. And with more competition out there with hunting pressure, you know, these game animals get to be high pressure where they react different. And so, you know, I need every advantage I can get, you know, and so that gives me a huge advantage.
Well, there's something to be said about that, you know. The biggest thing is we tell people about all this technology now, the first thing to say is like, well, that's cheating. I was like, well, why are you out there? I mean, it's not to cheat, but you want to make an ethical shot and stuff now versus like in the past, you know, back when I used to start shooting.
Yeah.
A while ago, it was like you hold brown over, you know, space over brown, you know.
Yeah, that can't be a better system.
I was like, yeah,
right?
That's way more ethical.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. That's the truth. I mean, everybody has to draw their line in the sand of what's ethical, but it's not rangefinders. You know, it's not your optics. Like I want to have the best optics I can, and two, you know, these animals are evolving to the pressure. They are tough to kill with a bow and arrow, with a rifle. They're tough to find. They're tough to glass. So you need the best stuff that you can have out there, at least for modern day and age hunting. I mean, I'm not hunting with a rock.
No. No kidding. And I think what it ends up doing, Brian, is it gives you, the hunter or the user, whatever their application, that the confidence that the equipment is right and that they are going to be able to have success, which a lot of cases, you know, when you're having success, you're having fun, and it wants you to go back and repeat that. And whether that's with a friend, with your family member, with yourself. I know you do a lot of solo hunts yourself, and you know, you got to have the right tools out in the field is going to give you those moments and those memories where you're just like, dang, this is awesome, and this is you know, this equipment helped me get there, and it's just cool to hear stories like you were talking about in using archery mode in that one case, but just over the years and hearing how you use our equipment and just that success that comes with it. So that confidence that good equipment builds.
Confidence kills. You guys know that. You walk around and know your equipment's going to operate. You're a deadly man out there.
Well,
you know?
I think days are gone now where you're like, I'm unsure of where this bullet's going to go.
Yeah, I don't know where this arrow's going to go.
Yeah,
the day and age of that is gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's inexcusable now.
Yeah. Well, I got a rifle all built, and I've got a SIG scope on it. Things just drive and tax. But like, how do you use the rangefinder with your app, with that scope? Talk about that a little bit.
So there's definitely plays that you can do with it that way. As you know, so basically, I'm assuming most people know what this thing is. Our ballistic rangefinder, or any of our kilo products, is a ballistic rangefinder. So you put in your ballistics into it, which is generally right in the box, and it's going to tell you what you need to input into it. With the biggest degree you think you'll see is like muzzle velocity variations. Some guys have longer barrels, some guys have shorter barrels, different weather temperatures, all that stuff plays into it. The biggest thing where this becomes a confidence builder is you get to learn your gun. It's like you shoot an arrow. How many times do you shoot an arrow during the day preseason?
Thousands, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you shoot 1,000 arrows a day, or like
no,
every day you go
out.
in
the preseason. Yeah,
but like you go out there and you become familiar with, you say you shoot 10 arrows a night before you go to bed every day, just so you know what your bow is. That's the same thing with rifle building or rifle hunting. I think you need to go and learn your gun and know what's going on, and why, you know, having this ballistic platform that we have now allows you to become more confident in your gun. Like, I know without a doubt that my bullet is going to hit where I'm aiming. And using these rangefinders now, you got, you know, angle compensation and atmospherics are rated into it. So now when you range a target, you can look at your animal and know without a doubt that, like, unless something massive comes up that I can't control, and you know what your confidence levels are, you're going to make an ethical, clean shot nowadays on it. So you range your target. It gives you your firing solutions. You can do it two ways. You can dial your turrets, which is like dialing your on your bow, just going from 20 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards, same thing on a scope. Or if you have that BDX system, it illuminates your hold inside the reticle, and you put the dot in the spot. So
yeah, I have the BDX system. So yeah, it lights up where you're supposed to aim, talks to the app and to the rangefinder, and tells me exactly where to hold, right?
Yeah, and it's not like, here's your range, wait for it to come through and jump. It's instantaneous.
Is it?
Which is nice, yeah.
That's another thing with the rangefinders, too. I like how quick the readings
They're
are.
fast,
with being a bow hunter, you can't just get one range. It's a bit like OCD. I need 4 or 5 ranges real quick to know that that's the range. I don't know why that is, but
I think it's just, well, animals don't stay one point. Like, they're not a steel target, right?
Yeah, that's true.
They aren't going to be like, okay, I think it's going to be there the rest of the afternoon.
You get branches and grass, and you just want to make sure you have a good range. There's nothing worse than executing a perfect shot and watching your arrow sail 5 yards over that deer because he didn't have a good range.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've had many guide trips when I've watched arrows sail over an animal's back, and, like, you had an hour to sit here and range every tree in this place, and you still shot 50 yards over the top of the animal. Like, what happened? Like, I forgot to range.
The power of buck fever.
Oh, it's real.
It is real.
It's not to say you don't get it. I mean, this year shooting, or in a couple hunts, I could just sit there, and I was in my binos, and it was cold, but I knew I started shaking a little bit more because like, that's a proper deer out right now.
Yeah, man, I feel you. Yeah, I start shaking where I don't know if it's the cold or it's the animal that I'm gonna get a play on. You know, you finally find one. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get a stock, and pretty soon I can't hold my binos steady.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's where the image stabilization. My favorite product. I think the most revolutionary product in the last 10 years in the hunting industry is the image stabilizing binos. Those things are a game changer. I love the 16s. I've worn them around my neck, and I can do really good with them, but I really like the 10s because I get, that's it, right? I like the 10s. I just can see everything, but you see more animals with those just having a stable image, being on a windy ridge. And not only picking out animals further away, but also close in the timber, catching an ear or an antler. Those things have played a huge role in my success. Once I found those, I have a hard time going back. And I love the standard glass. I love tripoding it up. There's nothing like a pair of 15s on a tripod, but those image stabilizations are a game changer.
They knock your time down quite a bit, I think, as far as just doing a quick scan of a hillside, or in years past you pull out an 8, a 10, a 15, a 12, whatever it is, and you like set up your tripod and cover, sit there and kind of blanket a hillside. I can pretty much do it now. Just pull out, sit down real quick, and pull out my 10s or 16s and just kind of work my grid
with one hand
while
eating a sandwich.
Eating a sandwich.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there where we got to put a bow on our back or a rifle in a sling or maybe something between our legs, and we're just like, I still can't quite hold still enough, but with the image stabilize system, it's just you're locked in there. Just like Peter's saying, just those quick peaks, and then obviously the ability just to sit down and glass over time without having to utilize a tripod, and the fact that at the end of the day you don't have any eye fatigue because you're just straining, trying to reduce, because you're not having those user-induced little shakes and movements or wind blowing on you or. Just tremendous.
It's amazing, man. I heard whispers that there's going to be a pair of 20 power that are going to be coming out.
Whispers were pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to edit this out later or say something that I wasn't supposed to. But I'm so pumped for them. I love the 16s, but those 20s are going to be amazing. They're going to take the place of a spotting scope, and 100%. They're so light in my pack.
That's just it.
I would say with those, we added a few features. They've already been just tremendously popular. We are not able to keep them in stock, and they've been out since late 2020. And just like you said, Brian, they've been the biggest hit for us since we launched our rangefinder line. And so adding a 12 power, adding a 20 power to the lineup.
Oh my gosh.
Fully waterproof.
You guys are making my day.
They'll be IPX7 fully waterproof, so they can be used in, you know, out in the water. We've had a lot of popularities with that. People
HGX glass.
Yeah,
it's gonna
we're
have
improving them. We're stepping the glass
good
up to
glass.
HGX. So one of the complaints has been,
wow.
that low light, the early in the morning, late at night, I'm losing it. And I've experienced it.
Yeah.
But the ability that your resolution and clarity is so crisp with image stabilizing that you
pick out more animals. It doesn't
just
matter.
going to even help even more.
But the new glass in it, oh my God, am I stoked?
you're
When
getting
are these
excited.
things going to launch?
So we are going to have those probably available before the hunting season. We're shooting for around July.
Oh,
so,
wow. So me and my buddies, we like a lot of times, maybe you guys do too, but it's who spots it gets the chance at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and once I started using those image stabilizing binos, I started to get a few more stocks. So pretty soon, all my buddies have image stabilizing binos right with me. We just all see the benefit in it. You know? It's just amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And then one other feature that I want to talk about that's going to make them even better is our target mode. So currently they basically come in scan mode. You know that. You turn them on and you can move it for about 5 minutes before it times out. But in target mode, you're able to lock on your target, so to speak, for an additional about 50%, up to 50% more stabilization. So it's absolutely unbelievable. If you guys are here at the Western Hunt Expo, come by our booth. It's 11:35. Even I don't know if you even played with those ones yet, Brian, but
I haven't.
they
I want
are
to.
mind-blowing.
Okay.
I mean, normally you're like looking at them like, what the heck? These things are awesome. Well, if you've experienced those for a season or two now, and then you get our new models that are coming out in your hands, it's crazy.
Yeah, so target mode essentially is generally you're going to run the first setting, which are default setting, which is just kind of that image stabilized scan mode. Allows you to blanket the area and cover your area. And then when you do find the animal or whatever you're looking for, target animal, whatever it is, then you can go back and forth twice or once on the on and off switch within 2 seconds, something like that, and then it'll all of a sudden bump up your power to 50% more stabilization in there, and that'll allow you to like full on like be glued onto it.
What?
Yeah.
50% more stabilization, so it really freezes on the target.
Yeah, it's
more than what you already have. That's why it is.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
You know, the funny thing about that product is when we came out with it, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I remember like, this is pretty game changing, like in a boat, in a car, moving around. When you're hiking up trail, you pick up and kind of glass a hillside as you're walking.
I mean, on a horse.
On a horse.
On a horse.
It's the biggest
on
thing.
a
It's like, this should
mule.
be
Yeah.
on every Western hunter's platform. Maybe it's horseback driven or it's whatnot. But now, you know, we were like, oh, and nobody really knew. Even the show, like, oh my God, what are these things? Like image stabilized binos. I mean, we had them for 3 years. Where are you at? You know, and then it comes back to the fact like we never really launched this thing because right before COVID hit, all that stuff started coming out, and you know it was where it was. We weren't get to meet hit the shows like we used to and stuff like that. And now it's still like it's still kind of that awe factor when people pick it up for the first time at the show. Like, what is this? Because there's only like Navy and other company out there, and they haven't improved their product in years. So now it's just easy. Yeah. And the price point makes it.
Yeah, and I would add too. I mean, whether you're aging, but you're still in the field. I mean, that's a benefit to those users. And then I've experienced this several times, and I've given my kids an option. Do you want to, use our Zulu 9s, or you want the image stabilized? And they're like, give me the image stabilized because they make my life so much easier. I can actually find the animal. So, inexperienced classers, experienced classers, youth. In aging demographic users. I mean, it's across the whole gamut of outdoors people, just a winner.
But it can be used for everything. Like people take, binos to a football game. You're in the crowd getting bounced around. You put those binos that a pair of 10s out there, and it's just like you're in the game.
I can't believe how well they've held up too.
Yep.
I mean, I am so hard on gear, and I've had them for a couple seasons. Hundreds of days out there bouncing around in my truck and everything else. Those things are hardy.
I had a prototype that I had, and I had them just about until I think I finally destroyed them about this summer in August, I think. But I mean, I was like, it's kind of sad to see them go. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Well, and they're so lightweight. They're easy to hold up. And like the 16s, Now all of a sudden it's changed the game for me. So I don't have to have 7 pounds with a tripod and a scope. I can have those 16s in my pack. And definitely for anything elk, I won't even take a scope anymore because I can see everything with those
you don't need it,
16s. And with the 16s, I'd say with deer, 90% of the time I can see exactly what I need to see. You know, and that 10% is only when they're far enough away and I don't quite have the power to tell exactly what they are.
It's like it's past that 1,000-yard mark now.
Oh, way past the
right?
1,000-yard mark. Yeah, exactly.
Which makes it nice.
Yeah, so those 16s, they take the place of a scope. They save me 6 pounds in my pack. I can cover a lot more terrain.
Well, it gives you more days in your back, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, they're game changer, man. I can't wait to see the new ones. I got to go by the booth after we finish up, look through the new ones. And the target mode is crazy. So you see an animal, and then you can freeze it on that animal. 50% more stabilization is crazy because I noticed another huge advantage or benefit from them is I can field judge better. I'll be looking with somebody with the same power of binoculars, and they can't tell what it is, and I'm like, oh, he's a 4. He's got back, good back forks, or he's got weak fronts, or something. He's like, how can you see that? I'm like, oh, here, take a look, and pretty soon he's got to go buy a set of those things, but you can field judge so much better.
I know, it's that optic is really done well in like down Texas and those places are like look at those finite points of like the whitetails and stuff like that, looking for drop tines and like, oh, this is this such and such deer and and blah blah blah. But these guys, they're like, I wouldn't change anything else. At like 200 yards with a pair of 16s, I can see every minute thing on that animal and know what's going on and know if that's something we want to do or not. So it's pretty cool.
What great innovation.
Yeah,
what
that
forward thinking for SIG to come out with something that nobody in the industry or very few, like you say, one other company that hasn't improved, but to be the only company that has them out there is wild.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And, we've kind of done that with some other products, too. It's just like we said earlier, it keeps growing and growing, and we come out with a new iteration. And so we know we need to stay in front of some of our competition and also still providing those tools. So us being users out in the field, we always get these, it's a clear whiteboard for us to say, oh, I had this happen, or I wish we had this. So that's what we keep driving all that innovation because, okay, if we're truly an electronics optic company, what can we do with electronics that that hasn't been done before, but it's available because it's out in the wild.
Thinking outside the box, because all the
100%.
Cameras have all the image stabilization, so the technology's there.
It's essentially we're using camera, tried and true technology. So
wild.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to watch this company grow. I mean, we both started at SIG on the optic side and. What year was that? 17?
2015.
15, 16, is when we came on. And just, when we started up, it was that Kilo 2000 rangefinder, which then was game-changing. And I had that binocular. I was running sheep hunts down in Sonora.
Yeah, you were a beta tester.
Yeah, I was a beta tester for a bunch of scopes and rangefinders. And back then, it was just like a rangefinder you'd hit, and then you'd probably hear the thing hum for 5 seconds and then get a spit-out reading. And that thing, I remember sitting in the on the desert floor and just range targets and just watching the numbers just buzz by on my display, like, oh my God, this thing's fast.
Oh, the scan mode when you
Scan
can
mode,
hold it
hyper
down.
scan mode.
Yeah, when you're knocking
we're getting
out
4 readings per second.
4 readings a second,
That really helps too when you're for a bow hunter range finding things. Is to have that scan mode to hold it down in there and just make sure that's the right range. Yeah, that's a great feature.
I think that's still one of those things on our rangefinders is people are still used to that press, release, and then get a readout. Whereas this is just it's press and hold the button down, paint your target, find that happy spot. Now, and it allows you to full on I know I'm ranging my target right now. I know that's not it. That's 10, 15 yards behind it. That's in front of it. And it kind of allows you to know what it is. Then get your firing solutions instantaneously. But I don't know if you do any. I mean, I come from a competition and shooting background, but you used to have a Kestrel. So you take your range, you'd range find your item, then you'd go to your Kestrel, you bump up to where, okay, I just ranged 200 or 225 yards and my next target's 650. You'd have to run through and manually bump up in 5 or 10 yard increments on your Kestrel to figure out what your firing solutions were. And that's all gone. I mean, the Kestrels are awesome, but they're compared to what we have now, it's
way of the past.
Yeah, it has been stuff now.
Well, you guys, so I like the handheld for me, and Dan's a diehard bow hunter, and he likes the range-finding binos for him.
Yeah.
What do you guys like? I mean, they're both great products. Is it a personal preference, or what would you say the benefits are?
I think it's probably dependent on what you value in the field. So I'm going to value the ability to glass versus needing to range find, because you're going to glass more than actually range a target in my experiences. So I'm going to use the Zulu 6 image stabilized binos if I'm not running something off a tripod, and then I'm just going to run a handheld 8K ABS is what I used this last year.
Yeah.
So I don't take our Kilo 10Ks or even our 6K range-finding binos, because I'm going to want the premium glass, or in this case with the Zulu 6s, the image stabilizing actually because of the resolution, and I don't have to worry about the quality of glass in those, even though we are going to HDX. So I want quality glass. I don't have any problem reaching down and grabbing a handheld rangefinder when I need it.
Me neither.
So
That's what I run.
I used to be the same way. I used to have the Zulu 6s on my front pouch because I carry 2 binos on my chest rig.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, that's cool.
But I'm to the point now with that Zulu 6 out there. I mean, I always had a pair of Zulu 6s. There's the 10s on my chest, and then I had my 10Ks underneath me. And then I also have a pair of 15s in my back as well. And this year is the first year I don't need it anymore. I use my 10s to kind of canvas my area and figure out what I'm looking at. If I do find something, I'll sit down. I'm not going to rush over to it. I'll sit down then, all right, let's warrant a further look, and then I'll pull out my 15s and go, and then hit it with my rangefinder. But I do a lot of, I was doing a lot of Coues deer hunting in Mexico, and having that weight and stuff like that in your chest, having 2 binos on my chest and a 15 in the back, and then in some cases a spotter behind you as well.
Do you use the Zulu 6 15s, or do you use the 15 standards?
15 standards.
Yeah,
Zulu
that's
9s.
really good glass in there.
Oh, it's
I love
exceptional,
tripoding those up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a game changer. Those equal so many more stalks and plays. You talk about hunting Coues deer, which I fell in love with too, and I love hunting muleys. But to be able to glass with those 15s and pick that country apart on a tripod is amazing. Yeah, that's a good system you're running.
It works out well, and I used to run a spotter everywhere I went, and I just get so much eye fatigue.
I do too.
Yeah.
To keep both eyes open in the
it's
binos to keep track of an animal is way better. So
Burns
that's why
me up,
I like the 15s too. And especially if I'm hunting with a buddy, he can bring a scope and I'll bring those 15s, and then the 15s will get us more opportunities.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It allows you it just makes so much more, just makes so much easier. I mean, when I first started guiding in Mexico, it was like I had it was our old Oscar 6 or Oscar 7s.
Oscar 7.
And I get done at the end of the day, my eyes would just be fried. And there's nothing I could do. And one eye would be good, and then I'd come out of the scope, and one eye could see clear, and the other one was so damn blurry that you'd have to rub in your eyes and put eye drops in. And finally, I just went to run just a straight 15, and I'll pull the spotter out, or it's in the back of the truck or something like that, and I'll pull it out and look, and yep, that's what we want to do. That's our mission. Then leave it.
Yeah.
And go hunt.
Yeah, I've done a couple hunts now the last 2 seasons, and talking with the guys, hey, who's gonna have a spotter? Yeah, we'll have a spotter. Okay, no worries. So at least have a spotter if you really need to get that distance. But then after that, it was just like you running those image stabilize in wind, just cutting the wind completely out sold me when I was in South Dakota 2 years ago. And I actually probably retired my Zulu 9s. And unless I'm going to hunt off a tripod, I mean, I'm running those Zulu 6 image stabilizers 16x42s like almost 100% of the time. And before that, for 5-6 hunting seasons, it was my Zulu 9s, 11x45s, and 15x56 when we finally came out with them. And it was just like, I almost felt like I was cheating on them when I said, kept them in the truck brought them to camp, but I was like, I brought him as a backup because I didn't need them. And it was just like,
I'm glad I'm not the only one. I feel like I'm cheating on mine too. It's like they're such good glass and they're so effective, but they're kind of my truck rig because the 16x45s are so light in my backpack, you know, that and it's like I can see everything I need to see with them. So yeah, it's tough. I feel like I'm cheating on my 15s too, and I try to use. It's so nice to have this good glass, but yeah, those 16s are a game changer for sure.
Yeah, they are, but still, if you're gonna sit in the hillside, like you've already run your morning hunt out, you're gonna park on the hillside, eat lunch. I still like sitting on a tripod and just bumping stuff with my nose and just dissecting a hillside.
There's such good glass. I know. That's why I go back and forth.
Yeah. I'll never get rid of them because I always have a tripod.
Yep.
You never know when you're going to need it. It's always going to be.
I don't blame you. And the 15s are just such good, crisp, low light glass. They just see animals so well. And when they're stable, you know, they're almost better than the image stabilizer because of the...
Well, you can cut through shadows. You can send like that second degree of like contour and stuff like that in shadows.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, those Zulu 9s have long been comparable to European style manufacturing brands.
100%.
We hear it all the time,
100%.
and it's very affordable.
Yep.
You're not into it, you know.
High-end glass for a mid-range price, man.
That's what I mean. You can set that next to anything out there,
Oh,
whatever it is.
I have. Yeah.
And you can't tell one way or the other what it is. It's
beautiful glass.
Yeah. And
and you know, I start getting worried too. Like, age is coming for us all, and like they tell me in my 40s that I'm gonna start to lose that close vision, and I've always had good vision, so I'm like the worst candidate for it. That I'll freak out once I start to lose it. So I mean, I'm on supplements, but I do think looking through that scope or that eye fatigue is so bad for your eyes.
Yeah.
You know, so like looking through good glass or having both eyes open in a binocular is so much better for your eyes than staring through a scope.
It doesn't stress them out so bad. Like I just hit 48 this year, and
like
I can't see. I've definitely noticed the last 6 months of like, like my kids shove stuff in my face and like, oh yeah, good job. And now it's, you know, that's where it comes like to have just a one piece, you know, monocular or something like that. It's just, it does hurt, and it takes you. It's not like you can squint and close your eyes hard and open up and everything matches and jives again. It's like
they're weird for a while.
You gotta rub, you gotta put eye drops in, stuff like that.
I do. I heard they've got some new eye drops that help you focus that last for 12 hours. That you put them in, and then like you're the perfect candidate when you're like in your 40s, just starting to lose it, and then you can still see close and see far for 12 hours with these eye drops.
Really?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Did Sig make that up?
Yeah, I think Sig came out with those.
I need to find that. That's something I'm definitely generally I like to read at night before I go to bed, and I'll put a book up. Or I was running an iPod or iPad and reading books on that thing, but that's maybe so I can't sleep that well anymore. So now I'm gonna have to go back to paperback books and reading that way. And
that's what they say. That blue light is not good for you an hour before sleep.
I know. I was like, why wouldn't Apple make something that you can do with that stuff? I mean, you got everything else.
Put another color of light in there.
Change this stuff up.
Yeah.
But the eye thing, and you know, we're getting that age now where, you know, financially we can afford to go do more stuff, and you want your eyes to be in there. I had that LASIK surgery done.
Did you?
And my eyes are brilliant after that. And I remember waking up after I had it done, like having nightmares that I'd lose my vision again. I was like, take anything, I don't care, but don't take my vision.
Take all my money. Yeah, I just want to see.
It's amazing.
I got LASIK too after, it's probably about 10 years ago, but I was at elk hunting with my father-in-law, and we were in the backcountry of the Frank Church, and I had a bar of soap with me, but it was just the worst thing to do to try to take my contacts in and out while I'm in a spike camp. And he was just sort of like, hey, you should go get that LASIK. I got it. It's awesome. And it's like, I should have done it 10 years before that.
No kidding. Now, when you get the LASIK, do you have to choose whether you see far or close, or do they do one eye each, or how did you guys have it done?
Well, go ahead.
I don't know. They gave me, and I could see everything like really close. That was my vision. If we walked, like I couldn't see who made that camera. I could see a black image there. That's how bad my vision was. And I was like, I want to see what's going on in the next county. So they tweaked it to where, you know, I had 20 plus vision, and it was great. I could see, like, for the first time in my life, I could go outside and look at what a branch looked like on a tree.
That's
you
wild.
know. 50, 60 yards away. And now it's like I can look at tree branches, 300-400 yards away and decide and tell you that, I can see the tree branch there. Or I could see a bird or
that's crazy.
Something running around in it.
Yeah, I was nearsighted, so I wanted to be able to have long distance viewing without having optical correction. So, and I was a baseball player, and so when I got back into playing in my mid-30s, my buddies was like, oh gosh, this is awesome. I can see the spin of the ball. I couldn't see this 20 years ago. I could have been something. But it's just funny how things evolve like that. I mean, take care of your eyes for sure. I mean, just kind of like your optics, make sure you're using the best kind of optics quality you can get, and use what you can afford, and it just really translates. Take care of your eyes.
Your eyes make your memories.
Yeah,
man,
for sure.
That's it. And it's funny how we're just all in our own reality that you don't even realize you can't see branches. Like that's just normal for you. And then you get it fixed. You're like, oh, there's a whole world out there. That's crazy.
Yeah, I like my daughter has to wear contacts and stuff like that. I'm like, you see what that is out there? She's like, no. I'm like, But, we need to go see the eye doctor. It's another $150, $200.
Oh, man, those kids are expensive.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, when we're 15 and 19, and, we've got contacts and glasses and the whole deal. So, it's just part of life. It's just what it is.
It is.
Yeah. Well, what else is Sig coming out with? What else can I be excited about?
Craig's your front man now.
Tough to have me think about anything else but those image stabilizers now, that new pair you guys are telling me about. But what else you guys got?
I don't know.
Well, we spoke a little bit mostly on our observation stuff right now, but I would say we have a couple of new models of our rifle scopes coming out. So a refresh a little bit on our tactical side, cut some weight out.
Oh, I got a new tactical rifle. Okay.
So
DMR.
just to improve the optical prescription. We got some of the really most brilliant people working for us, engineer-wise, just for design and mechanical, and then optical engineering. So we were able to really redefine and define what we want when we go to get these, when we partner to have our glass manufacturing, our reticles put in and stuff like that.
What's the best scope for those rifles then? You guys like red dot, low power that you can zoom in, or what are guys going with?
I think still in the hunting realm, it's still variable zoom scopes, and most of them are probably in that 15 to 18 power range.
I think we're starting to see, it used to be for a while, it's like more power is the better, and I think now guys are going to these lightweight guns.
But lightweight,
scopes.
like we're talking about, taking weight out of the pack, taking, so a lot of that's comes out of the gun, and then it comes out of your hardware. What are you putting onto your rifle? So more compact, lighter scopes, just with premium glass. I mean, we got the Whiskey 6 coming out. That's more of our hybrid second focal plane for the hunting featured guns. And then the other tactical one we were talking about with our Tango DMR model, which is going to be a home run. It's a good mix of what we came out originally with our Tango 4 and our Tango 6 line. Premium glass, premium turret system, and just another iteration of just making some improvements of where we were at and just taking it the next step up, and then also offering that at an affordable price. So
they come standard with the turret, so you can order them that way? Is that how they do it?
I mean, we used to have that Sig ballistic turret, and we still do a little bit, but now guys are just run just a standard MRAD or MOA turret.
Or run it with our ballistic data exchange system on the app.
Yeah.
You can run it. You can get your adjustments within the reticle of the rangefinder, as you know. So range target, I'm at 350 yards. I need to come up 1.5 MOA on that particular caliber I got plugged into it. There's a little bit of wind. Okay, I'll just hold for wind. It's all right there, and then you can just dial your turrets right on your scope, and then return them back to zero. He's Peter's right by saying that. You got technology now that tells you, use our rangefinder, our BDX rangefinder, and it actually helps you be better on your rifle. So.
It's got to take like the human error out of it too.
So you got to, and that's practice, right? And that's one thing I think. I wish, as a rifle guy, I wish more people would practice with their rifles. You know, an archery hunter, all the archery hunters like minimum 12 arrows a day, in morning or evening, doesn't matter what it is. A rifle hunter, I mean, I guide for 27 years now.
I know it's gonna come.
I've had clients walk up with the same box of ammo they've had with me for 5 years. Like, did you practice here? Oh no, I don't need to practice with this old
Guns
thing.
on.
Yeah, guns on. It's like,
yeah.
last time.
I'm good to 500 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, right. I see guys miss such easy shots with those rifles. I'm sure guys like, I don't even want to know some of your horror stories of what you've seen emptying guns to try to hit something.
Well, here's the thing: is what I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, help
you've
yourself.
been, picture this: you've been in the mountains now for 30 days straight. You're picking up your third set of hunters for the, in that segment. You see an animal that is like, oh, I saw this thing 2 weeks ago. You get them within 200 yards, they pull a gun out, and they hit a tree 100 yards behind it.
They just lose their mind.
And they're like, whoa.
It's practice, right?
Yeah, it's doing something every day. It's like, what? You go, I don't know how you describe it. It's like everybody thinks that, that's my biggest gripe as a guide is, if you're going to go and do a hunt of a lifetime, go burn 300 rounds of your gun.
Yep.
It's amazing what you would learn by shooting 10 rounds, taking 10 minutes off, do it again, and then all of a sudden have variable targets out there. And, not every animal that we shoot is going to be on a bench like we see in when we practice at the range.
So true.
Yeah.
It's just working with your rifle. Like the last years that I rifle hunted, I really spent a lot of time getting that rifle dialed in and getting to know my rifle. And you're right. Like you get your rifle's performance done on a bench, and then you shouldn't be anywhere near that thing.
No,
get into real life shooting positions, because half the time you tell somebody to get ready for a shot, and they can't find a shooting position out in the mountains. They don't know how to get into a good shooting position.
No.
They don't know
Well, they
how to
can't find
find
the
it.
animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't acquire the animal.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And then, even I have my girls when we're going on a hunt, we practice at the range. We've got to have multiple days. We've got to be effective and efficient. But I also like the dry fire practice, and the dry fire practice is great just to run through acquiring a target, squeezing on the trigger. And now they have these targets so that you can put on a wall, so like a piece of paper, and they've got like an elk silhouette, and that elk silhouette's 300 yards, and then they've got another one that's 500 yards and another one that's 7, so you can practice on these different sized targets and get in all these reps.
Steady,
and then go to the range, shoot less ammo. Not that you need to be shooting, you need to get used to the recoil, you need to know your rifle, but maybe you could shoot 100 rounds instead of 300 with your dry fire practice and be just as good.
No, I work for the academy now, and I'm working with the hunting side of it. We have this class called the Modern Hunter. And then, we do, 5 classes a summer here in Wyoming. And it's a 3-day class, but most people that show up there right now it's based around kind of a new hunter. And it's like, well, what's your objectives here? I'd love to shoot something at 200 yards. So the first day we go out there and we teach them how to zero a gun. And then you teach them what the meaning of a zero is, and what a bullet does and ballistics and stuff like that. By the end of the classroom, everybody out there is pretty confident out to 500-600 yards, and they know it's not just sitting on a bench, it's laying prone, it's laying on a rock, it's laying on a rock, it's shooting off a tripod, it's shooting standing supported, and it's amazing how much those people go from their confidence level being 150 yards out to if you can lay $500 on a table, they're going to take your money at 600 yards now. And it feels good. And that's where, picture this. You're going on a $10,000 deer hunt or a $95,000 sheep hunt, and you blew a shot.
Oh, my gosh.
Who are you going to blame? I've had guys look at me like, can't blame you. I messed up.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, we've all missed shots. I
Yeah.
know what that feels like, but to do it with such high consequences, and then your whole team's counting on you as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys go on these hunts and they'll run 20 rounds through their rifle. I just don't get it. It is tough to be a good shot with a rifle. Now, once you got it dialed in, once you got your buck fever under control, once you can execute a shot and you know what the correct execution are, you are deadly in the mountains.
Yeah.
But it does take a while to get there. It's
it's
not
not
an automatic, and you have to work at it. And then it's something that, you've shot so many rounds in your life, you're a good shot. It's like riding a bike, but I bet you still have to go out and work at that range and make sure that you're dialed in to make sure that you're going to hit what you're aiming at.
Yeah, it's like, do you think a heart surgeon goes and grabs his scalpel once a year and starts working on somebody?
Well, that's why professional athletes have, training camp too, because they got to get tooled back up, and they don't just, play games during the season. They keep practicing. So it's like repetition.
That's the biggest thing is as a a guide telling my client in the future, whoever's coming to hunt with me or any other guy in America or anywhere in the world, right now, when's this podcast aired? Next
couple
month?
weeks?
Yeah. Now's your time. This is when you start getting ready for your hunt.
The off season. Yeah, this is where you improve your skill set to go into these hunts and give yourself a chance at success.
Yeah.
I always say it. It's not the tag you draw. It's not getting lucky. It's building these skill sets and showing up in these units and these different habitats, different species, and being undeniable, being in good physical shape, being able to turn up game, being able to stalk in close, being able to execute shots. Yeah, you're exactly spot on, and that's what it is.
Confidence in yourself. Like, I mean, I can see an animal now, and I have my limits. I know, like, okay, that's past it, but that's not, I know that within X amount of area, it's a done deal.
It's dead.
There's nothing in this world other than an earthquake or a strike of the hand of God that I'm going to miss this animal right now. But it goes the same with, like, I don't know. You can't go on to a hunt and the week before start doing a workout program, right?
No.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's kind of doing this. I mean, we're in an era now, especially at this show. You look around half these people right here, I bet you 9% of these people are doing some sort of exercise program every day, and that's the best thing you can do. I mean,
and 10 years ago, 90% were not.
No, it wasn't that way. I remember having clients come back to me 2 years later like, oh, my God, I can't tell you. That was a hard hunt, and I almost died, and they come back. Like, I got done with that hunt and went to a gym, hired a personal trainer, or did whatever. Like, we don't know where we'd be right now if we would have kept on that platform that we were going. So, I mean,
it just changes their discipline.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And they had such enjoyment out of it. So it's like, it's just life correction. I need to make a change because if I want to go do that again, I need to.
You enjoy it so much more too.
It makes it so it's not miserable, You're like, hey, that didn't hurt today. I can do this tomorrow. Like, how many clients I've had and we've had with buddies are like, after a first day of a good pull on a mountain trail or something like that, they're gassed for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Like, we've known about this hunt for 8 months. It's crazy. You're blown in one day. How do you feel right now?
And until you've experienced it, you might be watching stuff on the TV and, and saying, or reading hunting articles and saying, oh, I want to do that too. It's like, well, you're not just driving right up the animal in most cases.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to a high fence lodge and all that, and it's like, okay, there's the one, let's go get it.
Some guys get that lucky. I never have.
But yeah, you just have to realize that there's some, effort that's going to be involved with this. It's going to be miserable at times. It can be
9 times out of 10 or something.
But
be like,
if
oh
you want to be
successful,
the ones out there that want to be successful, whether you're hunting for antler or meat or whatever, it's like you definitely got to be disciplined and put the effort out. And some people just want to have a camp. They just want to go out and maybe go see a deer or two. They don't have any intention to shooting one. They just want to get together with their buddies. So that's cool too. But set up the expectation of what do you want to get out of your hunt before you go into it. Whether you're in shape, out of shape, never hunted 30, 40 years, what kind of animal do you want to shoot,
Yeah,
that way you're ready from the get-go.
If you're doing a guide hunt 9 times out of 10, your guide's going to be ready for it. Do you want to keep up with them? Do you want to do what you're paying them to do? Then do it. Get in shape. Shoot your gun.
Yeah.
Shoot your gun.
That's it. Shoot your gun.
Yeah.
Just practice your shooting positions.
Yeah. I mean, 20 for $30, that's a steak dinner.
Yeah.
Or, well, not anymore. Just go. I don't know.
What are you trying to get out of a hunt, Brian? I know that you don't always shoot a bigger buck or a bigger elk or a bigger bear every other year. I mean, you have expectations, but what is your whole mindset when you're out probably hunting solo? I mean, part of it is the escape, I'm sure, from reality and just real world. But speak a little bit about where you're coming from.
Man, I mean, hunting for me means so many different things, but hunting for me is such a passion. Like, I love it. I love the entire process. I love training for it. I love preparing for it. I love the physical and mental challenge. I love having something that'll push me to my limits, and sometimes even beyond.
Yeah.
I love the challenge of it, like the creative thinking to be able to problem solve, to be able to get in close. I love the intense amount of adrenaline I get, like when I get a stock. And probably the funnest thing for me on a hunt is getting into them, you know. And I look for a mature animal, so I look for age class, and my expectations they differ depending on where I'm hunting and what my opportunity is going to be. Like, I know if I'm going to eastern Montana, I'm not looking for a 210-inch buck. I'm looking for a 160-inch prairie buck that's 5 years old, that has heavy dark horns, and that thing will get me so excited. Cool. I'll chase that till the day I die. But if I'm going to a place, you know, like Colorado, that grows those big bucks, well, I've arrowed enough bucks, and in that place, you know, I'm probably looking for a 180, 190-inch mule deer. And if I can turn up a world-class animal, that's what I set my sights on. Then it's that or nothing. If I can find a 200-inch deer, it's like, this is my hunt. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it my absolute all. And if I don't kill him, I'll go home happy. But I've really tried to be present in the moment and just enjoy the entire experience. And I've killed enough animals to where it's not... I don't put this pressure on myself. It's more about the adventure and the experience, the opportunity, and then the challenge of it. And then when it comes together, it feels like I climb Mount Everest, and then I just start all over again and want to go do it again. You know,
as soon as I remember having those feelings like you're in the moment, like, God, this is horrible right now. You know, it's snowing, sleeting, raining. You've got a mountain to climb on. It's slick. The boots caked to your boot, or the mud's caked to your boots. Then it's done. And you're like, wasn't that bad, I guess.
Dude, it's so true. We don't remember all the pain, some of that misery, and it is a type 2 fun. Like, but you know, you think about like riding a roller coaster. Riding a roller coaster is fun, but you don't go home and remember that ride for weeks or for months or talk about it with your buddies. But you go on a hunt, you go grind with a buddy, and all of a sudden you've got downpour, adverse weather conditions. You're doing mile after mile, can't find game, but it comes together, or it doesn't. Like it's like this meaningful experience that you go home, and pretty soon, like when you're there, you're almost like, God, just get this over with, or you know, it's like this is so tough or so painful. I'd love to arrow an animal, but you come home and that's the only thing you can think about is getting back on that adventure, going back to that place or back on another one. You know, it's wild.
Yeah. And meanwhile, that's the thing that it gets you every time. Yeah. Or if you could just turn back those 5 minutes.
Ooh, sometimes there's those.
How about that button?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll come home after a Idaho elk hunt or something. My wife would be like, "Another year, you didn't get one?" I was like, "No, but you know, Peter got one." Okay, it's like, you should have seen the smile on Peter's face. It's, you know, it's awesome. It's just the experience, and like you're talking about, just the passion, being around like-minded people, and just those memories. I think that's what it's all about. If you can't cherish a memory of being out in the outdoors and achieving something, of filling your tag and, you know, putting meat in the freezer and just having the camaraderie of being with people, and it's just like, if you don't have that memory, it's like you don't cherish that memory. I'd almost would challenge the person, like, why are you doing it?
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's what it's all about.
Spot on. Yeah, it's that camaraderie that you mentioned. That's so fun. Huge. Like when you guys go on a hunt, like I never laugh so hard as when I go with a buddy on a hunt, and that dark humor that comes out when you can't find animals or when you're in a bad situation. Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
It is hilarious. Now, that is pure fun. Like,
it's bonding like you can't even describe.
Yeah,
you know?
it is. And then it's a tighter bond. It's like different than going out and having a beer. Like you guys went through something together. So, you know, those are the only friends I really keep in touch with. Like I fall out of touch with everybody unless we hunt or fish together, you know, because it's something we both love to do. But you build these tighter friendships and these greater friendships, and you do pull for your friend's success as much as your own. And when you get to see, like, sometimes I enjoy seeing a friend be successful more than I do myself, you know, just to see how hard they work for it and the joy on their face. And it's like, you know, to me, you know, maybe it's just another deer I arrowed, but to him, this is this huge deal. Like, this is great. I'm so glad you got the stock and arrowed this animal, and I was here to share it with you and pack it out. You know?
That's the thing, you know, you get into an animal that you know, you get a couple of your buddies together and you go down, when you start breaking that thing apart, and just the mood, like, it changes everything. And then you know you've got a miserable pack up, out, in, down, wherever it is. But it's fun, you know?
It is fun.
It hurts. Everybody's joking. Everybody's complaining how much you know, every foot hurts, but then they can't wait for the beer on the top of the hill or at the bottom of the area when you get back in, when everybody can just sit down, breathe again, and laugh about it, you know, and there's just that euphoric moment that comes from that stuff.
It's the best.
Yeah. Which a lot of people don't get to ever see, you know.
Yeah, we're the lucky ones.
It is.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
To find something we love to do or to find passion, we're the lucky ones.
Yeah, I like the way you put that passion. And you can do a lot of things if you have that desire in your heart, you know.
And well, and it translates too. To go through, like, human growth takes place under these tough conditions. Like, that's where you grow as a person, is when you're challenged like that. But then you can take and translate that into your business life. You can translate that into your family life. Like, it makes you want to be a better person. It shows you the path, and then you can apply it to other things.
Yeah. Well, like, it's, you know, as crappy as it be, it's not the end of the world. You're not going to not go home. I mean, you're going to get there somewhere.
It's not the end of the world.
You're going to get to your destination, you know. It's going to be fun. There'll be a memory, you know. It's like you guys had that hunt in Idaho this year where there's 6 of you packing this bull out of freaking hell and gone.
It was not a long pack, but it was a miserable short distance for 3 hours.
Wow.
It was.
Oh, was it out of a hole?
It was blowdown. It was 2 or 3 creek bottoms. It was. I don't even know how to explain how we could even get into that many creek bottoms, but it happened just to get to where we can go up.
Yeah, I was in there in the hunt, but I was like, we have a text thread with like these 8 guys, and the stuff that came out of that text thread.
Like you're talking about the dark humor, the banter.
Oh God,
that is the funniest stuff.
It's just.
I have a term for when we're having copious amounts of fun, and I won't say it on the podcast, but that is something that's come out of it as far as just the fun of hunting with people, like you're talking about, like just having those good memories, and you know, just it's gonna suck, but embrace it, and you know,
you're there together with, especially if you got a good crew of guys, man. It makes it so it's irrelevant.
It does. Yeah, spot on. Well, you guys are the best, man. Building great glass. So impressed. Pistols are doing good too, huh?
Yeah, those things just sell themselves.
Yeah,
they're just great stuff.
High quality, repeatability, just built upon the brand name. It's just do really well. Yeah.
Glass is killing it. Yeah. Can't wait for those image stabilizers. Man, that's great.
Yeah, they're out, and it's still fun to watch. It's like watch somebody have a baby all of a sudden real quick.
It is.
When they throw that thing up there, I was like, what in the hell is this?
It is. I can hand them to a buddy that's hunted for 20 years and blow his mind. I'm like, hey, check out these. Yeah, just flip that switch on the top, and all of a sudden it's stable. He'll look at me like I grew a third eye. You know, it's like, what are these things? You know? Yeah, it's crazy. As many as you guys sold, as popular as they are, I can't believe they're not more I can't believe, you know, it's not like the only thing you guys. I mean, you guys just build great products, but those things are just unreal, and I think they're just going to continue to grow.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
It's
everything's been great. You know, just partnerships like with you guys with Eastmans and moving product that way, just from the media standpoint, and just real life referrals like we're talking about. I mean, it's just a fun time to be doing what we're doing. And just enjoying it with people in the community. So,
well, thanks so much, guys.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I really appreciate you.
Good visit. Good visit.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, guys. That's a wrap. Thanks, Peter and Craig, again. Hilarious guys, super knowledgeable. Man, I'm so excited about these Zulu 6s, man. These things are amazing. They've got their high-end glass in them. I swear they've improved the image stabilization in them. Not that anything was wrong with the old pair. They just seem to be more locked in and no shake or jitter to them. So, man, they're amazing. I'm going to get them out this week, going to start bear hunting here pretty hard as the grass is starting to turn and it's starting to get good. So as much as I can with everything I have going on. But, yeah, excited to get after some bears here. So be out later this week looking for those things and testing out these new optics. I'm also super excited. They're going to have a pair of 20s and a pair of 10s, and I'm not sure what I'm going to use. Like this 12 by pair has got me pretty sold because it's a 12 by 42 where the old pair was a 10 by 30. So I'm going to get more field of view, and Also going to get a little bit more magnification, and the things are so crisp and so clear. So I'm pretty stoked on those things right now. We'll see what the 10s look like, and then also can't wait to get my hands on those 20s. So check out everything Sig Sauer's doing. Again, that rangefinder is that Kilo 5K. That thing's amazing. And scopes and spotting scopes and everything they offer over there. Standard binos are killer too. The 15 by 56s tripoded up are just money. So check those out. And yeah, we appreciate their support. Also check out Silencer Central. Again, that Banish backcountry is the one I'll be going with and setting up on my rifle, and I'll let you guys know. But yeah, you're just going to get reduced recoil, reduced sound and noise out of it. So it ought to be pretty cool. I'm excited to use it. And also want to thank Black Ovis. Again, that promo code is Elevated10. That'll save you 10% off. And then we also have Camo Fire. You can save a bunch of money by downloading their app and looking for these hunting deals that come up every 24 hours. With that, over at Eastmans, again, make sure to check out that mule deer course. So much information. It's everything I know about hunting mule deer A to Z. So really proud how it came out. It's a video format, over 100 videos. Take you over 8 hours to go through the course. So much information in there. It's sure to cut your learning curve no matter what your experience level. You can put in the promo code BrianMDC and save 10% on that. Eastman's Tag Hub, put in the promo code Brian, and that'll get you a free subscription to Mountain Tough Fitness. And that's a wrap for this week. Yeah, gonna get after these bears here. Man, I've just been busy. Weekends have been tied up, chores and things of that nature, trying to get yard put in at this house here, and then just tackling a few items here and there, and softball games, and yeah, it's just been busy around here, but definitely looking forward to getting to the mountains and chasing some bears. So gonna get some days this week to get after them. The grass is finally looking right. Snow melt's finally there. Man, it's been a late spring, but nice to finally be getting some warm weather here. So yeah, gonna get after those bears. I'm not sure, may have my buddy Dan down. Dylan may run down. Dylan tagged out on a bear. He arrowed a good one a week or two ago, so good on him. And then, but he's gonna help us out and do some glassing and some hanging out. So should be fun. Gonna definitely try to get both of those guys on the podcast. Whether it's separately or together would be a really fun one. So we'll do a late evening after a bear hunt and get on and record that. And yeah, we'll just keep on rolling with this thing. Be on the lookout for that new podcast with Dan and Picard and I. It'll be on a different feed, but we'll put out one every couple weeks and be able to dive a little bit more in depth into bow hunting. So super stoked about that. When I release it, I'll release 3 episodes and then put it on my social media and let you guys know on here as well. So, with that, that's the podcast. Check in with you guys next week.